hoping you can see and hear me okay. Let me know in the chat. It's lovely to see lots of people in the chat saying hi to each other. That's really lovely way to start a live. I have my journaling kit all ready, and it was lovely to see that a bunch of you had bought the journaling kits to journal along with me. Holly said, do I need my journal or do we just watch along? You can journal along with me, or you can watch along and journal later if you want to. It's totally up to you, but I'm going to do it so you can journal along with me if you want to. I know a bunch of people bought the matching kits that I'm going to be using, but you absolutely don't need to either do it the way I'm doing it, or you don't need to use the kit either. You can use your own supplies, you can mix and match. Beautiful sunny jumper. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I thought I would pop on a bit of yellow. I've been enjoying trying to wear more brighter colours this week and just trying to give my mood a little bit of a boost with just wearing a little bit of brighter colour. It's funny how those little things can just change your mood, isn't it? So yes, so I have my journaling kit and I'm thinking of doing it's going to be a notes to self. I've totally lost my words. Notes to self spread, that's what I'm saying. I've got my bullet journal, which is very chunky at this point. There's not that much left to go. It's one of the Upsy Daisy ones, obviously. And I thought, why not do something at the end of the week that's like a celebration of you? Because Holly says, are the kits still available? Yes, I still have some in the shop. And I don't know if you have already signed up to get my freebie, like my free printable. If you have, then there's a little discount code in there as well, just FYI. But there's a link to it in the challenge hub. But yeah, there are still some journaling kits available. I think I've got about 15 left. So yeah, you'll be able to snap one up. And I thought, yeah, what a nice way to end the week, doing something that's like a celebration of you. And I think quite often people can shy away from saying positive things about ourselves, and why not do it together? We can do it. So this is everything that's in the kit that I've got to use today. So I have, let's start at the back. I've got these 5 patterned papers. It's like a rainbow and hearts theme in cute little pastel colours. And I have this mini envelope stencil. So as always, Joe will tell you, showing stencils on a camera is so hard, but excuse me, I'm going to use it to make little envelopes with little notes in, to do notes to self. Claire says, do you ship internationally? Yep, I ship anywhere. Then I have a little postcard, You Are So Loved. I have 2 die cut stickers. This one says, I believe in myself and my capabilities. And this one says, on a self-love journey. I love that. And then I have a little matching washi sample, which I know a couple of people asked. So I designed everything in the kit except the washi. The washi is from Gretel Creates. Holly said, where do we get the discount code? So in the hub, let me see if I can link it now. In the hub, there's a link to get my printable, and where's it going to be? I'll find it and I'll put the link directly in the chat. That'll be easier than sending you all round the houses. It will be, is it this? No? Okay. Or is it still loading? So you're just watching me Google at this point. No. Yeah, it is this link. Right, I'll post it in the chat. Now for you. Yeah, the washi is from Gretel Creates, and I actually have a discount code for them as well that you could use. I believe it's Emma 10. Emma10. Try Emma10. I'm sure it's Emma10. It'll get you 10% off. And I think it's called Pastel Grid Washi. But I can link it in the Facebook group after if you like. And then, yeah, this is the sticker sheet. It's all got lovely affirmations, hearts, rainbows, lots of lovely things. So what I'm going to do is start by making some mini envelopes. I have blue petered a few and done here's a few I made earlier because I was doing some testers, and so you won't be watching me make envelopes for an hour. I've only made 4, but they end up like this. And then you just slot your note in there. So I'm gonna sort of stick them in my journal and then decorate around it is my plan. So yeah, I'm gonna start, let's move my journal, just drawing on the back of my pattern papers. So I was doing a bit of an experiment, and I found that I think you can see that by sort of, is the word tessellating? By doing it like that, 1, 2, 1, 2, you can get about 5, as well as having some of the patterned paper left if you wanted to do anything else. But I'm not going to use all of my pattern paper for envelopes anyway. I'm not going to like make the maximum amount that I could get out of it because I would be overrun with envelopes. But you should have some left, and I'm literally just drawing the shape with a pencil, and then you can kind of put the next one next to it with just a little gap, and you can get quite a few out of the pattern papers. There we go. I know, I am now thinking, Holly, how many things can I do with little envelopes? Like, what else can I do with them? Can I make tiny cards for people? Can I, like, where else can I put mini envelopes? Because once I'd made one, I was like, okay, I'm in love with these. And I don't know about you, but I am overrun with patterned paper that I bought for a project and like used a tiny amount of it, or like cardstock and stuff. And or bought without a project even in mind, just because I liked it. And then was like, what am I going to do with these? So perhaps everyone will have to have a miniature card for the rest of the year. I'm just going to do these 2, I think. Yeah, a love note theme is lovely for a February bullet journal spread. So perhaps I can also come back to it next February as well. But I thought the little template makes it really easy just to quickly draw around and get your shapes. Someone has just started mowing their lawn, which is very inconsiderate because I work in a little studio at the end of my garden, and I don't know if you can see behind me, but yesterday I pulled down all my storage shelves because they weren't really strong enough to hold my stock, and everything is just in piles behind me and it's absolute chaos, which you probably can't see. But yeah, someone's just started mowing their lawn, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. Is the door shut? No, I'm just gonna shut the door. I was letting a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of fresh air in, but that'll have to go. I clicked on the link but no code. If you pop your email in the box, then you'll get an email with the freebie with the code. Yeah, does the studio stay dry in the winter? Yeah, I have got a little... Yeah, you've all caught me out apologising for things that aren't my fault. Oh, you've caught me. Yeah, okay, I take it back. Yeah, good catch. Does it stay dry in the winter? Yeah, however, it doesn't stay warm. So I had to have a little heater in here and wrap up very, very warm. On the very coldest days, I just worked inside, and I just don't store my notebooks out here. because I was just a little bit worried about the water, like humidity in the air in the winter or on like really rainy days. So I store like all my enamel pins, everything else out here, and I've got a little dehumidifier running. But yeah, I don't store notebooks and journals out here just because I want to be like extra safe. They'd probably be fine, but you know when paper gets moisture in it, and yeah, as a paper lover it just wouldn't do. So they live inside and I just get them when I need to pack orders. So yeah. Right. However, saying that, I have got some of my planners and things out here that are personal things and not stock, and I've got some books out here and they've been totally fine. I haven't actually had any problems at all, but you just can't be too careful. It's one thing when it's my stuff, and then it's another thing when it's for orders and stuff. I just want to be extra careful. And I did also used to plan out here in the summer, but in the very winter months I moved my stuff inside because I tend to do that on the evening, and in the evening it was very cold. But yeah, I do like working out here because it's really light and bright and I can see the garden. Yeah, so it does cheer me up. There we go. So how's everyone been getting on with their challenges this week? And has anyone had a favourite? I think my favourite was Be Weird. And I had a little impromptu dance party in the house with my husband the other day, and one in here actually. And yeah, we were just dancing around and being silly. And just not even worrying about it. I think sometimes we get worried what other people will think, don't we? And I just like being silly. Okay, cutting out the envelopes. So the way I found it easiest to do is, once I've got my pencil line, just don't worry about the notches. Cut all the way around first and then just go back in and do the notches. I found to be a lot quicker. And the envelopes will survive if you're not 100% accurate, because I have like shaky hands and it is what it is. There we go. So like I've done one. Oh, Holly, you spent the whole week in bed. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I mean, at least you've rested, but yeah, it's not what you want, is it? But perhaps you can do it at a later date when you're feeling a bit better and you can really feel the benefit of, like, you know, the things like get outside. I imagine when you're feeling a bit brighter, will maybe feel that extra bit special because you've been stuck indoors. I hate being stuck indoors when you're ill. Apparently it's going to snow in the UK in a couple of weeks. That's ridiculous. No. I'm so ready for spring. And like every time I feel like we get a little bit of it, it's like, is spring coming? Is spring coming? And then it disappears again. Ugh, British weather. I can't deal with the snow. It's lovely to look at, but we're just not built in the UK to cope with it. So if I've actually got to do anything, then I'm not really a fan. And then when it gets to like the icy on the road stage, yeah, not a fan. But at least I work at home, so I haven't really got to battle it. I can get away with staying in. So there's a bit of gratitude. Yeah, wish the weather could make its mind up. Yeah, Holly, do it at a later date. Dawn says, I think mine has been the random acts of kindness. I've donated a lot of wool and a bottle of water to a lady cleaning her pushchair. Oh, she'd gone through sick on the floor. Oh, do you know, someone did that for me once. Not with a pushchair. What had I put? It was something with wheels. Maybe it was a suitcase. And I think I'd gone through chewing gum or something, and I didn't have anything. And someone with a pushchair and with a baby who was like kitted out with a bag of supplies gave me some wet wipes. And yeah, it's nice when you see someone struggling and you know you can help, to just like offer that little bit of help, isn't it? Instead of walking on by. Also, once I was stuck in a massive, like really bad rain. So I used to live in London, and I'd gone for a walk down by the river, and it suddenly started like real heavy rain. And so I was by these apartments that had a canopy, so I just stood underneath, and I was like, this has gone on for a while now. How long can I stand here? I might just have to brave it and go home, which was about a 15-minute walk. And this woman came with an umbrella, and she just got back to her apartment. She lived there, and she said, do you want my umbrella so you can go where you need to go? And I was like, oh, but you can't just give me your umbrella. Like an umbrella's a big thing to give someone. And I was like, how would I get it back to you? I could like drop it back off to you. And she was like, no, it's okay, you can keep it. And I was like, what? That is so generous. Umbrella is a sacred possession, especially in the UK. But lesson learned of going places without hoods and without umbrellas. But I thought that was very kind. There we go. Where can I find the self-care challenge for last year? I think Joe's in the chat. That's probably one for you, Joe. I'm sure it's probably still on the Upsadaisy website, but I might be wrong. But if we don't find out during this live stream, I will find out and put it in the Facebook group. So I'm just going around the outside of mine, and then I'm going to go back in and do the notches. It's just what makes sense to my brain, is to do similar things together and do a bit of a production line. But that might not make sense for everyone. There we go. Oh, there you go. It's all on the blog. I hate umbrellas as they always go inside out. Yeah, to be honest, I do better with a jacket with a hood. Especially if I'm out walking the dog. Like, I can't be wrangling an umbrella and a dog. That's too many things. So I usually, like, I've got a raincoat with a hood that is like a dog walking essential. I actually bought it when I went to Norway, so it's really warm, because I went when it was like really in January last year when it was really cold, and it's become my dog walking essential jacket because it survives the rain if the rain suddenly starts pouring when we're out. The poor dog though, she hasn't got her coat on. She really doesn't like having her coat put on, but she also really doesn't like being wet, because she takes hours to dry because she's got curly fur, and then she sulks. And I'm like, well, you can't have it both ways. You need to just let me put the coat on. And she just looks at me like, oh, I don't want this. I don't want any part in this. I'm like, well, sorry. It's for your own good. Oh, Holly, well, you can catch up, and then you'll be able to take it at your own pace, won't you, when you're feeling a bit better. So I had a look at the fundraising page this morning, because last time I checked it, it was like 900 and something, like quite close to 1,000. And we've gone over £1,000, which is so amazing. That was the target, and yeah, we've gone over the target, which is just amazing. I know that, I mean, Joe personally knows the school, but I know that they'll be so happy and so grateful. And I think it's a really lovely thing to be able to give back to those teachers, because I think there are people who give so much to other people, and they don't necessarily have, like, they don't take the time for themselves or give themselves things. Anything they've got, they'd give to other people. And I feel like that's a really good example of that, is being able to make a space for the teachers at the school to do what they need, or just even have 2 minutes to just have a moment of peace in their day. That's so valuable for people who give so much to other people. And if they fundraised, if the teachers fundraised, you know that they would keep giving it to the school, which is amazing. And this is obviously still for the school, but I mean, like, they would give it for the children, and they do all the time. And I think there's no looking after those children. It's like you can't pour from an empty cup, right? You can't look after those children and do that job forever if you don't look after yourself. And so for them having a space to do the things they need to do in their day is just so valuable. So I'm going to zoom this in a bit so you can see what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm really happy that we've been able to do that. So my envelopes, what I'm going to do now is fold in the shorter ends. So you're just folding it to the line, basically, so it makes like a flush line, and then turn it round and do the longer ends. I don't actually need to fold that bit, but you can. Obviously, that's how it'll go. Like, that'll be your final envelope. And then what I found easiest is to put a bit of glue down these bits, and then you don't get glue kind of overlapping and going on the back. So if you just glue these edges at the bottom and then fold that up, then it'll stick really well. And I have this glue pen, right? I can't remember where I got this. I think it was in a goodie bag for an event, maybe the Southwest Planner Club box in January, or maybe from last year's event. And it's like a little pen you scribble and glue comes out. And I remember at the time I thought, that's cool, but I don't know when I'd use that. And then I was thinking about what glue to use, and obviously you can use anything, but I was like, this is where the glue pen is finally going to come in, like maybe the most useful thing. So I just scribbled a little bit of glue down there and then just fold it up. But you could use a bit of Pritt stick, you could use the edge of like a tape runner, you could just use whatever glue you've got, and then you've got your little envelope. Oh, Joe says, it's incredible. Sophie and Alf send lots of love. Oh, yeah, I'm really glad that we've been able to fundraise that money. When Joe suggested it, yeah, I just thought it was amazing. I used to be, before I ran Sunshine Lane, I used to be a social worker that worked with children with complex disabilities and making sure they had all the support they needed at home, in school, to be able to socialise, to be able to access things in the community, like basically whatever was needed in that individual case, and making sure that they were able to access stuff, because children with complex needs often aren't able to access stuff, and I really loved that job. But it did not love me, and I have fibromyalgia and it flared up hugely, and yeah, it just, that type of stressful job, like, it just didn't work well, and my health deteriorated, so I couldn't do it anymore. But having been in a lot of schools like Harlowfields and seeing how hard the staff work, and how, like, what a difference it makes to those kids, is just when Joe said, oh, I'm thinking about this, what do you think? I was like, yeah, perfect. That it's so important. It really is. Holly says, any reason why you called your shop Sunshine Lane, or did you just like the name? Well, let me tell you. So I used to be called Plan, Inspire, Create, and I started it was just a YouTube channel to start with, that I started in at the very end of 2019, it was a few months after I'd left my job as a social worker. My health was rubbish, And I started this YouTube channel to sort of document how I was using planning and creativity to sort of find new meaning in my life, because I felt really lost, and also to sort of build myself back up in terms of my health, trying to meet people locally, trying to find new things to fill my days with, figure out what I was going to do next in life. And then I started creating planner inserts first around self-care, and then I thought, well, these could benefit other people. So I opened an Etsy shop, and things kind of grew from there. And then last October, I rebranded to Sunshine Lane, because I used to do predominantly planner. I still do planner stuff. What am I trying to say? I just felt like, because I do other stuff alongside stationery and planner stuff, like self-care gifts and different bits and bobs, I felt like Plan, Inspire, Create didn't quite fit anymore. And also, when I would tell people what it was called, they would say, what's it called? And like Plan, Inspire would mush together into one word, and they couldn't quite hear what I was trying to say. And I thought, well, this isn't a good business name, is it, if no one ever knows what you're saying? And I'd known for about a year that I wanted to change it, but I thought, you've got to be sure. And I just couldn't find a name that I liked, or if I did, it was taken. And I'd be really excited, and then I'd be like, oh man, back to the drawing board. So I've always used the colour yellow a lot, and yellow is my favourite colour, and I kind of call it happy yellow, and it cheers me up. And so I started thinking about yellow and sunshine, and then it just sort of came to me one day, oh, Sunshine Lane. And then the more I said it to myself, I was like, yeah, I really like that, because it's not necessarily about what I do, more so about like the type of feeling that I want people to feel. Like, I feel like it has warm, happy feels that when you interact with Sunshine Lane in whatever way, whether it's watching my vlogs on YouTube or seeing my products or whatever it might be, I'm hoping that it gives people those kind of friendly, cozy, happy feels. And then I was like, oh, please let it not be taken. And I couldn't see anything, so I went with it. And it's been about 7 months now since I've been Sunshine Lane, and I really love it. I feel like it suits, if that makes any sense. It just feels right. So yeah, that's my little story about the origins of what was Plan, Inspire, Create, and now Sunshine Lane. But yeah, I really love it. I never ever thought when I started that YouTube channel originally that it would spiral into something that like became my new career. But here we are. Have I always loved stationery? Yes. Huge stationery lover. Let me just have a little drink. I've always loved stationery from as long as I can remember. And it's probably from when you used to get those little planners at school. And I know Joe's posted a picture a few times. Is it the Fun Facts? Is that what it was called? Like those old planners that people used to get in like the 90s. Loved it. And I remember when I started secondary school, and they gave me my first like proper homework planner. It was like my favourite thing. But way before that, I'm just going to cut these into strips while I'm talking, and I'll explain why in a sec. So yeah, every summer, well, every school holiday, I used to go and stay with my grandma, because my mum was a single mum and she was working, and you don't get as much annual leave as kids get off school. So I used to go and stay with my grandma, and she lived in a different cities to me, so I wouldn't see her outside the school holidays, and it was like, oh, some of my favourite times. We were super close, and every summer she used to take me to the stationery shop in her town and let me pick out a new pencil case, a new stationery set, and then I remember I would be like itching to get back to hers and organise it all. Yeah, the fun facts. Organise it all, put it in my little, put all the things. I loved a pencil case with compartments. I still love like bags with pockets and things like that. Absolutely love. Let's zoom back out a bit now. And I would organise everything in all the different compartments. And then I remember at school people used to try and swap stationery, and I was like, no, I don't think so. This is a carefully curated stationery collection and you need to back off. I am not swapping with your stationery from who knows what it is. Absolutely not. So yeah, and then Joe said, I love my school planner, covered with pictures of Keanu Reeves and sticky back plastic. Yeah, the other thing is, at secondary school, when we used to get all our textbooks, we were allowed to cover them and put sticky back plastic on them, and the hours of fun. And my mum is exactly the same. She's in this chat somewhere. I've seen her name pop up. She loves stationery too. And we actually went to Stationery Fest last year, and we're going again this year. And we were both like really excited, and we were saying if only there was something like this when I was growing up, like we would have both loved to go, because we saw lots of kids with their parents excitedly looking around all the little businesses, and would have absolutely loved it. Oh, I've got hair on me. So, to interject, I've cut these into strips, and the reason that I designed that page that way is so these strips will actually fit inside your envelopes. So if you wanted to use coloured paper for notes, then you can. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to measure roughly about where I want this one to come up to, and then I'll use it as a template. Oh, I don't know if that's straight. Not really. Yeah, so sort of like that. So you can see the top of the envelope, and then I'm going to write my little notes on here. So I have a sticker sheet. Is it to hand? I don't know if you can see behind me, but everything's in a state of chaos. Let me just see if I can grab it. No, I don't think I can. No, I don't think I can. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh my goodness, what a disaster. So I have this sticker sheet, and this was what inspired me. I was like, can I create real little notes to self with mini envelopes? Was my inspiration. What's happening in the chat? I was the same with stationery shopping as a child, especially the French shops. Yeah, what are stationery shops like in other countries? I'm curious to know. I'm going to South Korea in a week and a half, and my husband was like, okay, something I want to do is go to the demilitarized zone, which is like between South Korea and North Korea, that separates the two. And I said, okay, something I'd like to do is look around the stationery shops. And I was like, they're two very different activities, but he was really up for it. Give and take, you know. I loved a pencil tin, finding the exact arrangement of stuff to go inside it. Yes, I totally agree. Shopping school supplies was fun, but it was way more satisfying organising the new school supplies. Yeah, I think I agree with that as well. I got into stationery when I got into planning, but I liked getting new stationery when it was back to school. With 4 kids, my mum must have spent a fortune on stationery when we were younger. Yeah, that's true. My grandma had 16 grandkids, but I was the only one that she like looked after for a length of time, because everyone else lived local to her. So I think that's how she got away with just doing it for me and not the others. Otherwise, that would have been a lot for her to do. So yeah, I'm just going to line this up now and cut it into, use it as a template to cut the next one. So I've got my little note papers to slot inside the envelopes. Oh, I love a bit of Sunday crafting. I mean, equally, you could just draw envelopes in your planner, but I just wanted a bit of a 3D fun, crafty moment. So I know that Ups a Daisy is also going to Stationery Fest this year, which, if you don't know, it's a stationery planner and journal event in Manchester on the 29th of June, I want to say. 29th of June? Yeah, I think so. You were her favourite. Do you know what? I actually was. Like, I don't mean to brag, but I actually was. I think I was her favourite. Ah, dearie me. My grandma got me into crafting and I'm making along with you. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, Stationery Fest. So it's at the end of June. It's in Manchester. It's a one-day event, and you can either, it's a bit like any types of conventions that you might have, like, so there's a shopping area, which is where you'll find us, and we were just across from each other last year. Me and Joe and Kate were there, and yeah, you can just get a ticket to go in the shopping area, and this year I think there's going to be like double the shops there, if not more. It's going to be so much bigger this year. And then there's also VIP tickets to Planner Fest and Journal Fest, so that gets you your goodie bag, but also access to lots of talks and workshops. You get exclusive shopping time before anyone else, and obviously when it's quieter. So am I holding that the wrong way around? No. So yeah, I'm curious, did anyone go last year? Is anyone planning to go this year? Let's see what's happening in the chat. Oh, my mum's popped up. She said they had a very special relationship and I'm sure Emma was her favourite. I think I was, to be honest. I mean, not to brag, but we did just have a very close relationship. The best bit about being a teacher and being an assistant head means I'm in charge of the budget for my team. We get lots of lovely stationery. Oh, what a good boss you must be. I want to buy all the things. I remember my gran getting me into tapestry. My mum is brilliant at it too, but I need the ones with the design on the material. Yeah, I have got into loads of different crafts, and part of the mess behind me is many a craft I've picked up and put down, but they sort of go round in a circle. I'll come back to them. There aren't ones that I haven't really come back to. It's just there'll be a favourite one of the moment that's like the current one. But I love trying new crafts and things, and it's something me and my mum do together a lot, is like we'll book on different craft workshops to give something new a try, or like we'll just bring something round to the other one's house and say, right, let's sit and do a bit of this. And yeah, it's nice to be able to do that with somebody. I'm debating it. Are there still tickets left? Yes, there are still tickets left, and I believe at the moment that the early bird ticket rate is still available. Is it until the end of the month? I believe it's still available at the moment, so tickets are slightly cheaper. Also this year, if you wanted to go just to the shopping bit, there is an afternoon only ticket available if you just wanted to come for a little while, and that's also a little bit cheaper. So I think there's more ticket options available this year. Deborah said, I'd really love to go to Stationery Fest, just trying to work out the budget to get there. Yeah, it can be a lot, can't it? And especially depending where you are in the country. Sorry, this is not the day to be losing your voice. So, let's bring in the journal. It's that time. And I'll bring in the other ones that I did yesterday, my 4 little ones. So, I kind of want to do like a sort of, like this sort of, not this pattern, I'll mix the patterns up, but sort of down here with the little notes, if that makes sense. Let's think about the colours. This is my favourite one, I think, with the sort of ombre with the hearts. I think that's my fave. Is it focusing? Yeah. I'm going away for most of June, so maybe next year. I think that is the thing as well. If I got a rubber, I've got some little pencil marks. Of course I have. Yeah, is once you kind of know about an event, at least you can budget for the next one, if that makes sense. And there are a lot of different planner events popping up and long-standing ones that are running. I will also be at the Southwest Planner Club event in June, and that's in Somerset, so a completely different area. I know there's a Scotland one. I'm not going to be at that one. And I think that's all of them at the moment that I'm aware of. I don't know if anyone, in the UK anyway. I think it's Go Wild in America at the moment, isn't it? I've seen some pictures. I think I saw some in the group. Somebody was there. It's a 4-hour train ride for us, but I'm making it a mini vacation. Yeah, I've seen some other people doing that, booking a hotel and then maybe exploring things locally the next day. Maybe I'll use that one. Something like that, if I can space them out. A bit better. Something like that. Something like that. Let's give it a go. So I'm just going to use my scribbly glue pen again. Oh, Joe's here with the information. Joe, you're like my fact checker. It's brilliant. Can you be in any and all of my live streams moving forward? That would be lovely. Early bird tickets are available till the end of April. Emily lives in Manchester, so doesn't need to think about travel for once. That's good. Oh, and it's nice to go with friends as well, but sometimes I see people say that they don't, is that coming out? Yeah, that they don't know anyone and they're worried about going on their own. And I get worried going to events even if someone's with me. But I have to say, like, people at planner and stationery events are just, in the main, nice, welcoming people. And it's nice because you've all got a shared interest. So there's things to talk about, there's things to bond over. And if you're doing the VIP, then you'll be sitting with people on tables. So it's a bit easier as well to make, voice crack, to make new friends, which is good. But I quite often see people talking in the Facebook groups for events beforehand. And sometimes if people say, oh, I don't know anyone, then someone will offer to meet them. And we'll be friendly faces on our stalls, of course. I had seen Joe and Kate at another event before, but the Stationery Fest last year was the first time that I'd properly, and I'd talked to them online, but it was the first time that I'd properly been able to meet them in person, and I was like, hello. I was starstruck. I rushed straight over. And Ups a Daisy last year had a creativity station, which is where, like, they had a table where you could sit and try out some of their stencils and stuff. And I was straight on that. And that was, I think, when I fell down the Ups a Daisy rabbit hole. Was then. So thanks very much, Joe. It worked as planned. I was like, oh yeah, look at all these goodies. There. Scribble, scribble, scribble. There. Look at that. That's so cute. Let's put some little papers in. I probably will dot some more envelopes around the place, but because I've got a few left. If you want to do the workshops and talks as well, do you need a VIP ticket? Yes, you do. You'd have to pay me to Go Wild, I think. Yeah, I've never been to Go Wild, but I've seen things online about Go Wild, and American planner events just seem totally like a totally different beast. Everything is such like big budget, big production. I don't know how. I think how much it costs me to go to a planner event and like provide freebies for people, things for the goodie bags. I've sponsored tables before and given extra freebies, and like that's really hard as a small business. And I think like, how on earth do they do it at the American events? Because all the freebies and stuff, they seem like crazy big, but oh no, that's the wrong way. They seem crazy big budget. It must be big companies. But then again, I don't think it is all big companies, so I don't know. Perhaps other companies are just a bit more flush than I am. I don't know. Oh, Joe said we are having to plan what we take more carefully this year, as Tracy is coming with us too. One more person is less space in the car. Well, yes, I've upgraded my space this year. I'm going to be having a bigger space. And I did say at the time, because my mum, Alison, the lovely Alison, is in the chat. She comes with me normally, and what was I going to say? Yeah, this year I'd said to my husband, could he come as well? And I actually did a market in December, and I made him do one of the days with me as like his staff training day. And he was actually really good. I came back from the toilet and he was properly trying to upsell somebody on some stickers, and I could hear him saying, my wife's designed all these things, blah, blah, blah. He was bigging me up. I was like, oh, bless you. However, it should be okay, but I don't know if anyone attended. So me and Joe both did live streams, like live workshops online for the Southwest Planner Club event in January. I don't know if anyone attended that. And I did a spread about what's coming up this year, and what I hoped to be doing. And one of the things I talked about is becoming a mum, because we are in the process of adopting. And people on the live stream had said, can you let us know what's happening with the adoption? And I was like, yeah, sure, but I didn't really know where to put that. So, there we go. I do love that grid washi. Yeah, I'll put a link to it in the chat afterwards with my little code. So yeah, the day after we get back from South Korea, in May, we have our panel where they give us an official yes or no. And I've just noticed some washi peeking over. Oops, daisy washi. Let's cut that. And they say an official yes or no. But it's, I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but our social worker wouldn't let us go to panel if she thought it was going to be a no. So I'm hoping it'll all be fine. And then sort of end of June, beginning of July might be around the time that we'd be bringing a little one home. So it's a bit touch and go. I just said to my social worker, look, these events that are already booked in, I can't cancel them. So I'm going to be doing those. And so I'm just going to be going for the day to Stationery Fest, because it's only a couple of hours from me. So depending on whether he's at home with the baby or toddler or whatever we end up with, depends on whether he will be there as well. I think it'd be nice to have a third pair of hands with having a bigger area, and it just means you can have a bit of a break as well. But yeah, also a bit of extra muscle for setting up. But we'll have to see. Watch this space on that one. Might put those there. This has got pencil marks. It's all a little bit, just drawn on my boob. It's all a little bit up in the air. We're just sort of playing it by ear. I've just done it again. Playing it by ear. What's happening in their chat? Get a trailer. I am. Oh, Kate, you're talking about Go Wild, aren't you? Hardcore introvert, easily overwhelmed. Yeah, welcome to the club. That is totally me. I'm not sure I would cope with the scale of it. And also, I've seen like when the doors open, people running to get to specific tables because they want to sit on that table to get the freebies on that table. And like, I can't be dealing with a stampede. I mean, I love stationery, but that's just a little bit too much for me personally. So yeah, I am kind of with you there. The scale of it is a bit much. Holly said I missed the big meet. Yeah, I was post big meet, obviously, so I never went to one, and I didn't know about the planner community until I started my YouTube channel and then found other planner YouTube channels and then made my way into the Facebook groups and things. So that was before my time. So yeah, but it's a shame when things come to an end, isn't it? I'm cross my fingers for you. Be a wonderful mum. Oh, thank you. Adoption and fostering is something I'm considering when my circumstances change. No way I can afford to take on a child at the moment. That's fair. Fingers crossed for you both. Oh, thank you. If I don't find a husband, or if I was unable to conceive naturally, I'm 47, I'd definitely consider it. Yeah, I think, to be honest, they're crying out for adopters. I'm not, yeah, like that. I'm just saying that as in, it's shocking how many, like when they told us about the statistics of how many children are kind of up for adoption. I don't know what the best way to say that is. Compared to how many adoptive parents are actually available to take them in. It's just such a big gap there. So yeah, I think, yeah, definitely consider it. But obviously you've got to make sure it's the right thing for you. It's not the right thing for everyone. It's not the right timing for everyone. So yeah, it totally makes sense. I am almost 36. And we'd done some IVF and stuff, but we only did 2 rounds because it just wasn't for me. Wasn't feeling that. I look back on some old vlogs in the week, and I started vlogging around the time I was doing my first IVF cycle, and I looked so poorly. I was actually really shocked to see how ill I looked. I don't think I've ever been so pale, and I just looked so tired. And I was like, yeah, it's a lot. And we didn't even go through very much of it. So, right, where's my sticker sheet? I consider taking on an older child as well. Might be more challenging, but older children are often overlooked. Yeah, definitely. I think the statistics they were saying to us is like, go this one, something like once a child's over 3, the number of children that get adopted over the age of 3, it reduces drastically, which is so sad. Like 3 is no age, is it really? What is that in the grand scheme of things? So yeah, it's sad. And we met a couple on our adoption training that we did that also said they would take on siblings, which we considered at first, but we decided we wouldn't take a sibling group like 2 children in one go, for example, because we haven't had loads of experience with kids, and so we thought that would be actually a bit much for us. But I would have liked to have done it, but realistically, can we handle it? I was like, oh, I don't know. So we decided not to, but yeah, we know a couple that's adopted siblings, and I think, yeah, that's, wow. Yeah, definitely a lot. Yeah, IVF is a lot, and we did IVF during COVID as well, so quite often my husband wasn't allowed to come to stuff with me, and so it's all kind of on the woman anyway. And yeah, I was kind of on my own with it, and didn't have family support because we were social distancing and all that good COVID stuff, so that was a kind of extra challenge. I really love this sticker. Yeah, it's a tricky one with IVF and stuff because I feel like things are different in different areas as well, like eligibility for stuff. We were considered young at the time we did IVF, which I was, you know, I took the compliment. But yeah, it is a tricky one. Right, I'm going to use my stencil. This is one of the ones out of the Upsy Daisy journaling kit, the Don't Worry, Be Happy, that kind of coordinated with the challenge, because I really like these little notes. Do I want to do it in pencil first, or do I just want to go for it? That's the question. I might just go for it. Why not? Be brave. Do some little notes. I mean, I do always make a mess somewhere. That is just classic me. I just have to. Oh, my little note came out. Hope it all works out for you. Thank you. Yeah, I think, you know, like you said, fostering, adoption, taking on older children, it is all an option. It just has to be right for you and at the right time, doesn't it? Do that to there. And like we originally said, we would then go on and adopt another one. But then I think we've kind of said yes, but with the caveat that we don't know who we're bringing home yet and what they will need and will it work for them. Like we would like to adopt another one without knowing the first one yet, if that makes sense. But it might be that that wouldn't work for them, and so we wouldn't. So yeah, we're just going to play it all by ear, really. See who we end up with, or who ends up with us. Probably more like it. Oh, there it is. There's the mistake. I drew my line too far. Now I've drawn a wonky line. Every time. Embrace the mistakes. Embrace the mistakes. Don't worry about it. I'll just put some correction tape on that. But the other one I'm just going to leave. Have I got one? Yeah, have I got one? Got about 50 in that drawer. There. You never know. I probably should leave it out. I'd buy a kid off eBay if I could. God, I wish it was that easy. Oh my God. We'd have, been parents years ago. Oh, can you imagine? I'd love that. I mean, yeah, ethics aside, that would be a lot quicker and easier and a lot less hassle. Life's definitely been chaotic while we've been going through everything. there. Would I consider adopting siblings? So what we've said is we would, if we have, so we're going to have one, and then if a sibling comes along, we've asked them to let us know, and they would say, do you want to take the sibling to keep them together? But we wouldn't take two at once to start with, if that makes sense. But yeah, if another one comes along, which is quite common, then we've said, yeah, contact us, and if we think it's right and that the child we've got would cope with that, then yeah, we would take another one, and then we'd be able to keep the siblings together. So that's the plan. There we go. Let's see what's happening. I think I'm ready to have children. I've faced a lot of backlash from family and extended community for waiting as long as I have. I'm 27. I don't think I'm too old yet. Absolutely not. Do you know what? I started getting flack from particular family members, not my mum who's in the chat, just to clarify, about not having children, and certain family members saying that basically I was doing it all wrong and I was leaving it too late to have children and I needed to just get on with it and I wasn't fulfilling my duty, etc., etc. And I'm 36 and I'm still not a mum. Well, I'm nearly 36 and I'm still not a mum. And actually, I think I'll be a much better mum now than if I'd just naturally conceived early on. And that's not the case for everyone. I'm not saying older mums are better than younger mums. I'm just saying for me, like, I know I'm in a better place mentally than what I was, and just maturity and emotional stability, where my mental health is, my physical health is, like, I just think I'm in a better place. I don't think there's any too early or too late. I think each person is different, aren't they? Each situation is different. It's got to be right for you at the end of the day. And people are leaving it a lot later to have kids these days. They really are. Yeah, there's no right or wrong way. It's your life at the end of the day. So it's not for other people to say what's right and what's wrong in your life. That's my little speech about that for the day. I think it does depend as well. I've just seen a comment. Yeah, Rayma says, my daughter was 30 and that was early among her friends. I think it depends, yeah, as well. Will that fit in there? Because I really love that one. Oh no, will it fit? Can I squeeze it in? Don't know, we'll come back to it. I'll stick it there. Yeah, it depends who you're around, because if you're, so for example, my husband's family's got a big family. They used to do loads of stuff together, big family parties, and all his cousins were having kids. And his dad has got 2 sisters and a brother, and then they've got loads of kids, and they were all having loads of kids. And they would make comments about how we hadn't had kids yet, and about how my husband's parents weren't grandparents yet, and when were we going to hurry up and give him a grandchild. And we felt like we had to avoid social gatherings, and we actually came out and told people about the fertility problems we were having to get them to stop, because it was just too much. Yeah, I want to move that up. I don't. Yeah, it was too much. And part of me thought, can't they read between the lines and think, like, we've said we want kids years ago. Surely it's pretty obvious that we must be struggling, or, you know, whatever. But it got to the point where I couldn't hold a baby without someone shouting across the room, "Oh, it suits you, look at this, look at that." Liam was asked why he hadn't got me pregnant yet, like all kinds of comments. And I was just like, what is going on? So I avoided holding people's babies, which is quite sad, really. And yeah, it does make you want to avoid stuff. And I guess like there, we were in a setting where we were surrounded by babies and everyone having babies and getting married. Whereas if we were surrounded by people who weren't, like, there weren't any other grandkids or like, you know, it wasn't that kind of setting, then no one probably would have batted an eyelid. I think it does depend who you're around as well. Yeah, when are you getting married? When are you having children? Let's scroll back. A lot of women in the chat relaying here. Yeah, my sister-in-law just had a baby and she's 42, so you're still very young, Shima. Yeah, exactly. Oh, thanks, Emily. I will share the final spread in the group. My parents have 12 grandchildren, so the pressure is off for me. They would like me to have kids because they know that's what I would like. Yeah, that's fair enough. And Joe said, this is a big reason why I hate weddings. Without fail, I get, when are you gonna get myself a nice man? Oh my goodness, yeah. And I actually wrote a blog post about this last year. It's still on my website, actually. Because it's me that's faced most of the comments, not my husband. Obviously, because, you know, what are women for if not for having babies and getting married? And yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Kate said no one ever really asked us, weirdly, or we were just so vocal about not wanting children early on that everyone just accepted it. Yeah, I think this is the thing, is sometimes you have to be vocal and then people will leave it alone, but you shouldn't have to, you know, speak about your personal business and your preferences. Other people should just butt out, really, but that's not the world we live in, is it? Jay said, what if I'm happy living my happy independent life? Exactly. Can I tell you a story about how I've been a bridesmaid 6 times and 5 of the couples are already divorced? Joe, no way! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, very expensive divorces too. Yeah. And my little furry family, it's so funny because when people used to say to us, when are you going to have kids? I'd be like, I've already got Maggie. Maggie's my little cockapoo. And I was like, I've already got children, thank you. Like, I've got my baby. Might not be a baby to you, but it's a baby to me. Yeah. Yeah, they're all very personal decisions. If you don't bring it up, then don't ask. Exactly. It's none of their business why your husband hasn't gotten you pregnant. How rude. I know, I thought that was an absolutely shocking comment. Just get married. Doesn't matter who to, as long as he's rich. Yeah, why is it that women get all these comments and the men don't? Oh, Shima, I'm glad you're loving this chat. Sometimes I think, like, it's one of those topics that you think, oh, I probably shouldn't talk about because sometimes people get uncomfortable. But sometimes I think it's good because you realise how many people have been through the same thing as you, and you're like, yeah, I'm not alone, actually. This is just, it's not just me, it's a bigger problem here. And the problem isn't with me, it's with other people. And maybe it's, oh no, I don't want to, no, we're not going to risk it. I want to squeeze that rainbow in. There. I'm just going to have to squidge it. That's where I want it to live. Get off, there's a little hair on it. Yeah, I think when people start to talk about it, you realise that it's not a problem with you, it's a problem with other people, and that you're not alone in your experience. Like, particularly women go through a lot of issues like the ones we've been talking about, and I think, yeah, it is good to be able to talk about it as a group. So I feel like I've done a little group counselling. Does anyone know any single Irish men? I can't help with that one, but perhaps someone in the chat can. I honestly can't imagine loving a human child more than I love Freckle. Oh, no, Joe, like, my dog Maggie, she is part of the family, and our social worker normally Maggie has free run of the house and she sleeps in her bed, but in our bedroom. And we've had to put up a stair gate and make her sleep downstairs. And I'm having a lot of sleepless nights because she is just crying and crying. And it's breaking my heart. And I'm like, I don't want to push her out. Do you know what I mean? Oh, yeah, we're just doing what we've got to do to satisfy the social worker, but I keep giving her extra love in the day because I don't want her to think she's being pushed out. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, divorce is not that I've been through a divorce personally, but divorce is no fun. Like, the pressure to get married when it's not right just leads to problems in the long term, right? Jay says, I'll just rescue a load of broken animals and spend my money that way instead. That sounds like a good plan. Yeah, good plan. I would totally have another dog if we've just got a good setup where, like, me, my mum and my in-laws have each got one dog and we can have the other dog, and then 2 is like manageable. But if we all got another dog, which I know all of us want one, then 6 dogs is not manageable. Yeah, I think when we have our child we can make the rules, but initially they're going to be coming home and we won't be their mum and dad, we'll be their foster carers, because we're doing this thing called foster to adopt, where they come home and, like, the court proceedings haven't finished, so it's very, very, very unlikely they won't go back to their birth family, but there is a minuscule chance. But it means that instead of them going to different foster placements and all around the houses, they can come to us, and the 99.9% sure they'll stay there, and it means that they can be settled in a home at an earlier age, which is shown to be better for their emotional development. But we will still have to take them to contact with birth family and do all of that while the court proceedings are going on. And so we have to do everything by fostering regulations for for the first year. Once that's over, we can start changing things up, and it won't be a big deal. It would be so heartbreaking if they went back. Yeah, it's a massive risk that we've talked about a lot, and yeah, in our area they said it's usually about 1 a year, which isn't a lot, but obviously if you're that one, it's heartbreaking. So I'm kind of going into it thinking, like, if that did happen, I would have to tell myself that we gave them a loving home when they really needed it most. But I can't quite imagine what that must be like. But we're going to take the risk. But when we look at the child and the circumstances and stuff, I guess we'll look at what the situation is and how likely it might be that they would go home, and kind of make an informed decision as much as you can. But our social worker in particular said she would never suggest a child where she felt they would go back home and that risk was there, because obviously that's just heartbreaking for us and for a child. So she wouldn't do that. But then sometimes things happen and decisions are made that are out of our control. So yeah, it's a tricky one. I'd love another dog too, just needs to be the right one to fit in with us. Yeah, I'd love another tiny one, but they have so many issues, it's horrible to see them having to deal with it all. Yeah, I bet. My friend was separated but found out her ex married someone else while still married to her. She's divorced now, but it was very messy. We don't know if her second wife knew this. Wow. Maggie will understand. Lots of snuggles and snackies. Yeah, definitely. Another Cocker Spaniel! A black Cocker Spaniel. Oh, that's what my in-laws have, Izzy. Oh, that's lovely. A puppy. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. Okay, so I'm going to write in my little boxes notes about like what the spread is. So I've written this spread is filled with notes to my incredible self, and then I'm going to write something about how that can sometimes be tricky. And then the last thing I'm going to do is fill in my notes with my lovely compliments to myself, which I think it does feel hard. Like, I think particularly in the UK and particularly women, it's like you're taught to be modest, and that's like not an easy thing to do. And I think we're taught to be a bit self-deprecating, but it's important. Like, if we can show that love to other people, why not show it to ourselves? We can shy away from I don't have the neatest handwriting, but that's okay. I've come to terms with it. And then I'm going to do, I want to do an arrow around there to my page flag. So I've got a little 1, 2, 3. Boop, boop, boop. Colour in those arrows. I knew I was going to make that messy. And then I'm going to say, each of us, I'll read this out in a sec. Each of us has things that make us amazing. Ooh. So be unapologetically is a very long word. Unapologetically. Oh, that's a messy O. There. So I've written, this spread is filled with notes to my incredible self. That doesn't always feel easy to do, and we can shy away from paying ourselves compliments, but why should we? Each of us has things that make us amazing, so be unapologetically you. Oh my god, this is turning out so cute. I'm so excited. I've got 3 stickers left on my sheet, and actually I haven't used my die cuts, so I can use them somewhere. I'm going to put my postcard on my little inspo wall, and I've got a bit of washi left, but I'm going to start writing compliments to myself. This is the hard bit, right? Apparently there are states in the US where bigamy is legal. Crazy. Won the divorce proceedings. Dearie me. Right. Oh, I love how this has turned out. I bet you're just looking at the top of my head now, aren't you? Yes. I won't lean forward that far. I've got shaky hands now. I've been journaling for an hour or so. So this is not my neatest writing, but hey ho. Oh no, that's not in the middle. I'm going to swap that. That's annoying. Where's my little bits of paper gone? That's going to annoy me. Where are my little bits of paper? Oh, there they are. Let's get another pink bit. There we go. Boom, fixed. Cheated. It'd be funny if I was writing things like, you have such neat handwriting. It's just a mess. Right. I'm going to start these ones further up. Of course, you could like close the envelopes and fold your little notes and put them inside. You could do all sorts of different things. Oh, am I going to fit it? Uh-oh. No, that's going to have to be shorter. Thank goodness for spares. Deary me. There, fit it. Let's see what's happening in the chat. I was late for the live because I went to collect my new laptop bag. Ooh, it was in a drop point and I took a step as I predicted it would be in the top. I took a step. Sorry, that's just sunk in. That's just sunk in. I bet you struggle with collections if they're in the top. You may regret so many envelopes. And I'm going to have to come up with a lot of compliments now. So I've got, you're kind, you're creative, you try to make others feel good. Okay, I'm going to go for a physical one. I feel like I need to put a physical one in. There we go, it wasn't pushed in. Need to put a physical attribute because they're even harder to do sometimes. This is something my grandma always used to say to me. Put this in. What's up with my pen? What's up with my pen? I nearly put a rogue apostrophe where it doesn't go then. Why is that not writing? Why didn't it write on it? My pen's refusing to play ball. It'll write if I do that, but it's not writing on the purple. What? Okay, new pen. I want another ballpoint pen. Is that a ballpoint pen? Is it black? Yeah. Tell you what, we're going to go for a new one. There's a theme happening here. I like to write it in the envelope because I can see how much room I've got. Like when it's in the envelope, you can see it. Your eyes. There. Your eyes sparkle when you're happy. Ah. You are so creative. How on earth do you look at a blank page and come up with creating things like this? Beautiful. Oh, I hope that's at me. That's nice. Thank you, Deborah. I never used to do anything like this because I convinced myself that it would be rubbish and that I wasn't creative because a teacher at school told me my art was rubbish and I basically just shut down after that point and didn't do much creative stuff. And then something I did like when I started my YouTube channel and I was like trying to use creativity in a therapeutic way. I just started trying stuff and acknowledging that I might not like how it turns out, but that's okay. It's just about trying it and having fun along the way. And since I've kind of taken the fear away of doing it wrong, like sometimes I'm like, I can't believe that's come out of my brain. And yeah, it might be a bit messy, it might be a bit scrappy, there's things I'd do different, but I think approaching things with the idea of just having fun and just like embracing mistakes and trying to work with it has made a big difference. I had to hyphenate there. I've said you've come a long way with your business. Your journal spread is so sweet, very pretty, thank you. Your body is capable of amazing things. I love that one. Screw that teacher, look at you now. Yeah, exactly. I think that's where I struggle, fear of doing it wrong. Yeah, I've always been a massive perfectionist, and fear of doing things wrong has held me back with a lot of things. But I think it's one of those things where, like, I didn't start with anything this elaborate. I think you can start trying little things and just do little steps to build it up. Like, yeah, it's one of the reasons I like stickers a lot as well, is because even though I've drawn some of my own stickers, it's not necessarily like you're drawing something, then if you draw it wrong, there isn't really a wrong, but if you don't like it, then you think, oh, the whole thing's ruined. You can just stick a sticker over anything and pretend it wasn't there. And also, I really like digital drawing because of the magical undo button. Obviously, you don't get that with physical things, but digital drawing, I think, gave me a lot more confidence because I could just undo things if I wasn't happy, which I still do. Undo button's my favourite button. Yeah. Okay, I've got a few more. Got 3 left to come up with. So I've written, you've come a long way with your business. You've learnt to listen to your body more, because that's definitely been a big learning curve since my fibromyalgia really flared up. I used to just be like, no, I'm going to do everything and my body will have to just get on with it. But obviously that's not how it works. You're brave enough to try new things is my other one. Joe says, totally agree, Emma. I sat down and set up a gardening journal yesterday. That's so nice. No filming for content, just pure journaling fun. Yeah, that's lovely. I'm using the A5. It's the Daisy B one. I don't know what's on the front of it. But I'm going to be needing to pick another one soon because I've not got that many pages left. But yeah, I'll have to do a flip through at some point because it's lots of, basically all Daisy, like loads and loads of Daisy. I really loved colouring this in the February kit. And then last month I did this waterfall duck thing with my weeks, and I just love all the little ducks there. Getting all my ducks in a row. I didn't do that for that pun, but it fits. Joe said, I found that I stopped journaling for fun because I always felt guilty that I should be filming the process. I've taken the emphasis away from YouTube so I can get back to enjoying my hobby. I decided that as reels are much quicker to film and have a much bigger effect for us as a business. Yeah, I used to only create things I could use for my business. Like, if I was drawing something, is it something I can turn into a sticker and sell, for example? And then I got to the point where I realised that I have to do things that are just for me, that are just for fun, because sometimes you've got to take that pressure off, like, because then you're thinking, is this good enough? What are other people going to think about it? I think that was my husband. He thought I was finished. Yeah, you're thinking, what are other people going to think of it? Is this good enough content? And you're not just enjoying the process. So yeah, I think it's good to find a balance for sure. Hello, Mag. Maggie's come to say hello. That's my dog. I can't remember if I said that. Uh-oh. I left enough room for this one. Yeah, if I write small. So I've got, you love to learn. You're not afraid to be silly and weird. Hello. Someone's still mowing their lawn. How big is their lawn? I'm not sure if it's been going the whole time or whether it's just, I mean, it's more likely someone else, right? But can't do it all. Ta-da! You've learnt to accept you can't do it all. Look at that! I'm very pleased with myself. Would love to see a flip through. Yeah, I'll have to film a flip through when my journal's finished and pop it in the, because I'm in the bullet journal squad group, of course. I have to pop it in there. I find I procrastinate too much, so don't make time for journaling. It's a lot more fun than decluttering though, which should be my main priority, but I hate decluttering. A lot of love for flip throughs. Kate said, I'm really enjoying doing art without the pressure to post it online at the moment. That's really good. However, the ones that you have posted online, I have to say, are fab. I've really been loving seeing your life drawings and how you're getting on with it. Maybe all your neighbours are tag team mowing to confuse you. I think they are. They're messing with my brain. Holly said, I would love to start a YouTube channel, but don't know how to go about it. Don't have the right equipment and don't want anyone to see the state of my flat. Well, I will just say that I started with my phone. I think I got a tripod for £10 off Amazon. I just filmed near a window with my phone and did it all hands down. So all my original videos were just very expressive hands. I never showed my face and I never showed like what was in the background. So I think you can experiment with it really cheaply, if that makes sense, without having to. Sometimes I think there's pressure to have all these gadgets and equipment and blah blah, and like I've built stuff up over time, but you absolutely don't need all this kit and caboodle to get started, if that makes any sense. So amazing. So I'm really happy with how my spread has turned out. It's been really fun to do something creative and different in here. And then, yeah, it still just lies flat, even though I've got my envelopes. Obviously, it's a little bit chunky, but it lies flat. I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I've done my my notes to myself spread. Holly said, doesn't it take ages to edit too? I think in the beginning, I just sped mine up from start to finish and did a voiceover over the top saying what I was doing. So I don't think it necessarily has to take ages. Depends how you want to do it. Or you could experiment with just doing reels and like short little videos that then maybe you could film a little bit and then just enjoy the rest, if that makes sense. You could do a little bit of both. Also, I would be afraid I'd sound weird. Well, I think when you start doing your own videos, you very quickly get used to the sound of your own voice, because I always hated my voice. And I was always picked on for my voice, so I was self-conscious about it. But now I just don't even think about it. So things, I'm glad everyone's enjoyed the live stream. I've really loved it, and I've done 2 live journaling workshops this year, this one and one for the Southwest Planner Club event in January, and I'm going to consider creating more kits and doing more. So if you want to be the first to know when that is happening, follow me on Instagram at Sunshine Lane UK and sign up to my newsletter on my website. Then you'll definitely get the notifications about when things are happening. But I've absolutely loved being a part of the challenge and seeing how you've all gone about like meeting the different prompts, because they could be interpreted so many different ways. I've absolutely loved it. Oh, thank you, Shelley. Yeah, I've absolutely loved it. And what do I need to tell you? Massive thanks for taking part in the challenge, and obviously for your donations to such an amazing cause. Yeah, I'm sure we'll post updates in the group, but I know they're going to be over the moon. In terms of your bingo spreads, and because there is a prize available for people who have checked off all the things throughout the week. If you post your completed bingo spreads in the Facebook group, then Joe is going to pick a winner at random during the week, and you will win a credit from Upsa Daisy to spend there. And I'm also going to be picking a prize for the biggest cheerleader that's been supporting people on during the week, and they will win a prize to spend at my shop. So we'll be announcing all of that in the Facebook group. Obviously, you can keep on posting in there and sharing if you're doing the prompts. It'd be lovely to see. Obviously, if you haven't completed all the prompts by today, it doesn't matter. Just carry on doing it. We'd love to know how it's gone and, yeah, how you felt about the challenge, how you're meeting the different prompts and so on. So, yeah, we will see you over in the Facebook group. But thank you so much. I'm going to head off now, but thanks so much for joining. How do I get the self-love check-in printable? I've signed up to your newsletter. Let me just grab that link again. If you drop your email on that page in particular, you'll get an email straight back with the printable, which is a little self-love check-in, and it's got, I think, 6 questions that you can use as a printable, and you can kind of fill it in on a regular basis and just check in with how you can bring a little bit more self-love to your life. Oh, I'm really glad you enjoyed it, Jo. Thank you. So yeah, I'm gonna head off now. Any other questions in the Facebook group, and I'll see you over there. Bye everyone. Have a good day.